Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit here, back again with Squid Game. We are on episode 8, and in the last episode we finished the fifth game. The fifth game being a bridge. You had two panes of glass making up the whole bridge along there, and it was kind of like a toss-up between one being tempered glass, which could hold some weight, and the other being just regular glass that couldn't, and if you chose the wrong one, you would fall to your death. So yes, we did end up finishing that at the end of last episode, and now there are only 3 people left. That is Gi-hun, Sang-woo, and Se-byok. So, yeah, I mean, there were some interesting things in that episode, mainly the, we got a look at the VIPs, so, they're from people across the world that obviously have interest in these games, and they bet on them and everything, and all of this is basically for their own amusement. And seemingly there was something that was said about the contest in Korea. It kind of makes me think that there are actually other contests dotted around the world, and it's kind of like somewhat like, if you kind of think of something like a World Cup or the Olympics or something, where it's kind of like you could see that they probably have like a kind of a changing of location for every Squid Game you can imagine. So that's kind of like what I think anyway. But yeah, I mean, that's to be totally confirmed as of this moment. We had Jok-soo and Han Min-yo, who both went over. So Han Min-yo actually took Jok-soo down with her, which is kind of what I anticipated would happen. Like, if Jok-soo was to die, it would be at the hands of her, because she basically put it out there immediately after he betrayed her that, I'm going to be the one to take you out. I didn't anticipate that she would go down with him, though. I know she's crazy, but I don't know, I just feel like maybe there is a slight possibility that he broke her fall on the way down, so she's still alive down there. I feel like if that was, if any of them were to be alive from the breaking of the other's fall, then it's more than likely going to be Min-yo that's alive rather than Jok-soo. But yeah, so down to the final 3, and we also have Detective Hwang as well, who has gotten information off one of the VIPs and is actually currently swimming towards another island. And we have the front man who's actually going after Detective Hwang right now as well. So that is where we ended off. So we are just going to get straight into episode 8. So as always, the reaction will be here on YouTube, but if for whatever reason it gets taken out for copyright in the future, I'll re-upload this as a discussion only, and a link to the reaction will be in the description below. As always, a link to the full-length reaction to this episode is in the description below, so if you do want to watch my full-length reaction and not just the cut 15 or so minute version, then the offer is there for you. But yes, nothing else to talk about, so we are going to get in episode 8, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Bleeding. Now this, I think, is coming from Se-byok, unfortunately, because I did actually forget to talk about it. There was a moment where we saw Se-byok, she was in shock after the explosion. I can see her dying from this, which is going to suck. Alright, Hwang actually did make it to the island before the front man and whatnot showed up. It could have been a case of glass literally gone straight through her.
그 사람 내밀었어.
운 좋게 제일 뒷자리를 뽑더니 그러다 그 인간이 그 깡패 새끼처럼 못 가겠다고 버텼으면 그땐 어쩔 건데.
마지막 칸이었어.
그 인간 유리를 구별할 줄 알면서도 앞에서 다 떨어져 죽는 거 보고만 있던 놈이야. 내가 아직 살아있는 건 그 놈 덕이 아니야. 내가 살아있는 건 내가 살아남으려고 죽을 힘을 다했기 때문이야.
아무리 이유로 갖다 붙여봐야.
Tensions are high.
한 손에 피 안 묻히게 해줬으면 오히려 고마워해야 되는 거 아니야? 이봐요. 기훈이 형! 형 인생이 왜 그 모양 그 꼴인 줄 알아? 지금 이 상황에도 그런 한심한 질문이나 하고 자빠졌으니까 똥인지 된장인지 꼭 처먹어 봐야만 아는 인간이니까.
늙은 엄마 등골이나 파먹고 살면서 오지랖만 넓은 병신 같은 새끼니까. 똥밭에서 뒹굴면서.
Wow, Gi-hun
그것도 내 탓이냐?
really laying it on him here. She's struggling, and I feel like she's not going to make it.
끝내신 여러분께 진심으로 축하와 경의를 표합니다. 선물을 공개하기 전에 저희가 준비한 의상으로 갈아입어 주시기 바랍니다.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, that is a hefty piece of glass. I can't remember now. I thought she was standing back to the glass, so I thought that like one had shot through her, you know. But this is the thing: like, if she doesn't bleed out for like whatever the last game's gonna be, depending on what it is, like this is obviously going to affect her mobility. So if it's anything that requires like physical exertion, and they have made it the island now.
산채로 잡아와.
Jesus! Dude, that could go so wrong. But I guess it's a way of making sure that he can't use it now, so if he needs to get off the island then...
반장님 제 말 들리세요? 지원팀 좀 보내주세요. 뭐라고? 지원? 지원팀이요. 최소한 해경이랑 기동대 함께 중대 이상으로요.
Here we go. Is he going to be able to get those through? Depending on the signal, like, you know what I mean? Like, those could take a long time. Are they actually going to be given a dinner here? Damn. There's got to be, like, a weird feeling doing, like, you know, like, having such a nice fancy dinner, but going through all the shit that you've just been through. And
오늘의 만찬은 그동안 파이널리스트 여러분들이 보여주신 헌신과 노력에 감사드리고 마지막 게임에서 더욱더 멋진 모습을 기대한다는 의미로 드리는 선물입니다.
God, she's really suffering, isn't she? He's having to resend because they're not going through. Oh God, man. He has to notice. I really wanted her to make it through as well, and I'm just... the further it goes on, the more I'm inclined to believe she's not going to. Drop off. God, he can't go in there with the fucking...
니들이 한 짓은 다 경찰에 보냈고 곧 여기로 해경이 도착할 거야.
뭘 보냈는지 모르지만 제대로 갔는지 모르겠고.
지금이라도 자수하면 정상 3장을 받을 수 있다.
구청에 5발을 넣을 수 있지. 하지만 경찰 수칙상 약실 한 발은 비우고 공포탄 한 발을 채워야 하니까 7탄 3발. 한 발을 쏴서 한 놈을 죽였고 또 한 발은 자물쇠를 부쉈으니.
He's got one left. Okay, you kept the knife. It's not gonna just be a fucking free-for-all, is it? Oh God! Has it still got fucking meat on it?
경고했어. 더 이상 다가오면.
Oh! Oh shit! Whoa!
내 말대로.
If he can just, if he can just see if it's been sent, and then he can jump in.
누구야? 당신. 형.
Yeah. Fucking hell, it's his brother.
가자.
Why is he a part of this then?
형이 왜?
Fucking hell! I mean, it's not. It wasn't it wasn't a fatal shot, right? That was like there. So he won one and became a frontman. We didn't get to see either if the files actually did transfer over. Just notice the icons that are obviously on the wall. Were they always there? I can't remember, you know, I can't.
쫄지 마. 너 죽이러 온 거 아니니까. 이건 저놈 때문에 가지고 온 거야.
You would think because all of this is kind of for entertainment for the VIPs and all of that, that they would have something planned that's more extravagant than just 3 people with knives.
아저씨 앞가림이나 해.
우리 같이 하자. 다음 게임. 뭐가 됐든
Propose it a 2v1.
서로 한 팀처럼 도와주는 거야. 같이 저돈 반반씩 가지고 나가는 거야. 딸한테 아빠 노릇 한 번. 제대로 해보고.
몇 살인데?
10살.
내 동생이랑 동갑이네.
동생은 지금 어디에 있는데?
보육원에. 엄마도 데리고 오고.
저돈 반씩 나눠도 그 정도는 하고도 남아.
나랑 약속 하나만 해.
If only one gets out, they...
무슨 약속?
they help like out the other person's sort of wishes.
아저씨든 나든
Yeah, I figured this is the way this is going to go. She's not going to make it out.
그런 소리 하지 마.
내 동생 꼭 챙겨준다고.
It wasn't off. But then this is the thing, like Sang-woo is like, you know what I mean? He's crafty. He could just be doing this on purpose, you know? This is the thing, like, is Gi-hun
그러지 마.
would he go through with it?
아저씨는 그런 사람 아니잖아.
Oh, fucking Jesus. She has been bleeding out. Yeah.
나 집에 가고 싶어.
야, 강세야, 정신 차려. 형님, 도와주세요. 피를 많이 흘렸어요. 제발 도와줘요. 사람이 죽어가요. 제발 대장 주세요.
Gotta be that. I fucking knew it was gonna be the bloody coffin thing. You fuck! Oh, you bastard! God's sake, man!
아, 세명아. 아, 네, 세명아.
Ah! Oh, fucking hell, look what you've turned into. Fucking hell, man. I wanted her to get out. I don't know. Maybe I was just too naive. Maybe I was just too naive to think that we could get multiple people out here. Oh, Jesus Christ.
여기 왜?
That sucks, man. That really fucking sucks. Okay, episode 8. I don't know, man. I don't know how everyone else feels. I feel like kind of pissed off, to be honest. I just fucking hell, man. I don't know. I just feel like the way she went out is so like unjust to me. I mean, she was injured for something that wasn't. I mean, why did they blew it up, right? So they blew up the bridge. For what? And it was really for spectacle, wasn't it? So you can kind of throw out this whole equal thing out the window, really, can't you? Because they're not really doing it for, like, you know, to be truly equal. Because you put people at certain disadvantages and things when you're doing shit like that. So whatever that, you know, equal thing is all bollocks, really. All this is a fucking all it is entertainment for the you know, the VIPs and fucking politicians and businessmen and whoever the hell they are. That's all it is. The whole fucking equal thing, I think, is just it's nothing. I don't know. I just feel pissed off. She was injured, so she was already at a disadvantage. I mean, she was the one that even stopped Gi-hun from even going ahead with the whole thing. Maybe I was just too naive to think that they would actually both get out, you know? should have like really saw it coming that, the question's always been like up in the air about, it's likely that it's basically the last one alive, and that's just the way it's going to be. I did sort of theorize the idea that the only way that I would see multiple participants actually getting out would be if Huang managed to contact the police, and then they ended up, coming in and interrupting the whole thing. But when you just look at it in hindsight, it's easy to see that this would have been the outcome. Gi-hun versus Sang-woo. And, yeah, I'm Gi-hun all the way. I think, yeah, I'm just pissed off. I know Sang-woo does what he needs to friggin' to get through, and it's been something that I've been very... I've been accepting of because of the fucking situation. And it's like, it's either you or them kind of thing. But like, even in that situation there, like, that was avoidable. You didn't have to go through with that. And I think it's just evil. Like, he's turned into something like, yeah, that's what I took anyway from like after Se-byok was dead, and you had Gi-hun that literally charged at him. And you could see, like, in Sang-woo's face, like, looking at him, like, Sang-woo was like, shit, like, he was actually coming to kill me there. And it's like, it's kind of like a what have I become kind of moment, And yeah, I mean, he's literally... yeah, man. I've been accepting of Sang-woo in previous episodes. This one has tipped me kind of over the edge. That was avoidable. I should have saw this coming. And the thing is, when you look at it, like, I was, I said during the episode, like, it's not going to be just as simple as 3 people with knives in a fight and that's it, just a fight to the death. Because the idea that all of this is for entertainment, you would expect them to do something like extravagant, especially with it being like this, the final, so to speak. So the fact that with, like, I don't know, with it being just down to Gi-hun and Sang-woo now, though, I imagine they will put up something that's more extravagant. But this is where it becomes sort of like internal conflict with Gi-hun in of himself, because Se-byok being the one to actually stop Gi-hun from going to kill him, and then he comes back over and fucking takes advantage of that whole situation. When Gi-hun was banging on the door and whatnot, I was like, well, that's woken up Sang-woo now. But if I'm being honest, I don't think he ever truly was asleep. I said he's crafty, you know what I mean? He was awake when, like, Gi-hun went over there, and you can only imagine what... I mean, Sang-woo was actually, like, legitimately watching them two, like, the other two talk. So, of course, in his mind, he's like, they're going to try and team up on me. So, of course, he would try, to be as crafty as he can, but... yeah. It just sucks, because it's like, you had that whole episode where, you had Se-byok and Ji-young, was that her name? Ji-young, yeah. And it was like, you had, it just felt like going on from there, that it was like, you had Ji-young literally, like, just sacrifice herself for her to get out and whatnot, and she just ended up dead. to what seems like to me is just so unjust, man. I don't know if I'm the only one, so let me know if you guys feel the same, that like it just feels like an unjust death, because it does to me. I guess in one way that that you could see that the whole thing coming with, like, if it is going to be one person to get out, then it's up to, like, you make that deal that you help out the others, the others' family. So yeah, you could see that one coming. The same with with Ian Ho as well, being the front man. I mean, that was one of the first things I asked, wasn't it? It was like, well, where's his brother? Is he the one? Is he the front man? You know what I mean? It's just kind of, you can kind of see that coming a mile off. But also, I think it's interesting, like, because Ian Ho disappeared recently, right? But then, like, we found out when Detective Huang obviously got the records out and whatnot, and found out that he won previously, like some years ago. But he only disappeared recently, right? So even if you were to add up that whole idea that he's just gone missing recently, it's because he came out of the island to be the front man for another game. And I mean, that whole sort of confrontation and whatnot, like, obviously it's his brother, and Ian Ho obviously doesn't want to actually shoot him, but then there's a reason why he's in there to begin with. So if he had found himself in like accrued a hell of a lot of debt and everything, and then therefore he had to come in, the fact that he's the winner means that he's got to have a lot of money. So what is the incentive in becoming the front man then? Is it so you don't? Is it something as like simple as, well, it's like a new job for him, that it feels like he's kind of secure, and he, like, going back out into the world with all this money, he might fall back into debt again, and I don't know. But then the thing is that when you look at the way the game is, you're literally, you're watching it, because it's got to be a traumatizing experience, and it will change people, right? I mean, you're seeing that with Sang-woo. And the idea that, like, once you get to the end, chances are you probably would have had to have done something that, has changed you as a person into sort of being... I mean, the fact of, like, the stuff that you've had to go through to get to be the winner, all of a sudden being the front man, I think it's just, it would have, the amount of trauma that you would have after all of that would probably just make you be able to ignore all of the kind of atrocity that it is. And so make, like, you becoming the front man ends up being, you're able to deal with the idea anyway, because you've already been through it. But this is what makes it interesting for the finale, is that whoever the winner is, which it's going to be Gi-hun, that's where we'll find out, right? That's where we'll find out, like, what the incentive is to become the front man. Because who knows, maybe they could just be lying about the whole thing, like, you go away with the money, but do you really go away with all the money? Because that's the thing, is, like, when I'm talking about this whole idea that it's equal and it gives people an opportunity to fight for what they think they're going to get, which is all that money, but then really it's all about the entertainment for the VIPs, so really it doesn't matter in the end, and they've still got you by the balls at the end. And they can just be like, well, this is your choice. You either become the front man or we'll kill you, or something like that. It could be fucking anything like that. So, I'm beginning to suspect that the real, like, all of it is a farce, really. It's farcical. I can only go by that, judging off the way that Ian Ho was with his brother, because he was like, make this easy kind of thing. So it's obvious that there's still something hanging over Ian Ho, the reason why he's still involved in this whole thing, and the reason why he shot his brother. Now, he shot his brother, like, there. Or, like, there, at least. It wasn't a fatal shot, by all means. So I'm willing to bet that he's still alive. And we'll see. We'll see what happens as well in the last episode. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't feel correct with this one. Yeah, I don't feel correct with all of this. But the other reason why I think that Detective Huang is actually alive. Well, first of all, we didn't get the confirmation that anything had been sent through, the files. But my idea of thinking is, he obviously couldn't send it through, right? He had to keep trying to resend it through, and it wasn't going through. My idea is, it didn't go through because the idea is on an island. Signal's not great. They're not going through. But being alive allows him to get... that's the other thing as well. Like, how's he going to get off the island, really, if he is alive? Because he doesn't have that suit anymore. I don't know, man. There's a lot of things like with that in this show. It's like, is he dead? Is he really dead? I did this whole thing with the bloody old man. Is he really dead? Watch him come back in the fucking finale. And then we've got, Han Minyo, who I've been basically saying, Joksu basically broke her fall. Because there are times when it's like, yeah, you're definitely dead, we saw that in this episode with Sae-byeok, and then we saw it with Ali. We saw his body at the beginning of last episode, actually. So it's like, with them, it's like, right, they're definitely dead. But then you've got, like, the likes of the old man who wasn't actually seen being shot. And then you've got Joksu and Han Minyo that, we just saw them fall through the glass. We didn't actually see any of them hit the floor or their bodies after the fact. It just makes me think that, like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of like, I've talked about this before, the idea that the Squid Game almost feels like it's kind of prepping people for a, if this idea is that, you're so traumatized or you're numb to the whole idea that by the end you're kind of essentially recruited in on the whole thing, then it kind of does make sense, because you're kind of almost grooming them for that spot, almost, getting them into this sort of way of life. Because, really, you would be that traumatized after the whole experience that even if you won, you would never feel like you would have PTSD after the fact, surely, so your life would never really be the same anyway. So I think you've got to think that people like Ian Ho and whatnot are probably fine being in the role of the front man after the fact. It's either that or they've still got something over him, that's keeping him in that position and unable to go against everything. Because this is the other thing, we haven't really heard from the host, Ian Ho, being the winner, only got the front man job, but the host is obviously the high up in terms of at least the Korean contest of the Squid Game. So I'd imagine in the finale, whoever the winner is, the host will turn up again, and then we'll get a real idea of what the incentives are. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've got. I'd imagine they will have something planned for the for the last two that makes them go against each other, rather than it just being like, well, you just wait it out with knives, and then whoever kills someone first, that's it. I mean, whatever it is, I don't think it will be like a contest in terms of the games beforehand, where it's like beat them in this, and the loser gets shot by one of the guards. I truly believe that this final between Gi-hun and Sang-woo is going to be like a somewhat akin to a fight to the death, you know, because if what I'm saying is true, and you know they're kind of grooming for people to be in command and basically employed in certain positions, then you have to be okay with the whole game as a whole, and to do that you have to kind of traumatize them into doing some killing themselves. But yeah, I can't believe we've got here, man. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, the finale, and see where we go from here. But I'm just obviously rooting for Gi-hun all the way. So anyway, yeah, that is all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I think certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you know you can get over there if you wish. I also have a Patreon page as well, so there is a couple of tiers there. There is the early access. It gives you access to shows a week early, including this. So if you do want to get access to the finale right now, you can do with that link down there in the description. There's also the full-length tier, which gives you access to all of the full-length reactions to the shows that I do. And there is the exclusive tier, which gives you access to the full length for all the movies that I do. And that we will have some movies coming back very, very shortly, so look out for them. But that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.